Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City Council special meeting of Tuesday, December 16th. Call the meeting to order and ask for approval of the agenda. So moved. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda, we'll have public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment? I will remind you that you're going to say your name and address under 3 minutes, kind of respectful. Come on up.
All right. First of all, happy holidays to all of you. Thank you very much for all your work you do all year long. And I see on the agenda this evening is the 808. And that's why I'm here this evening, just to kind of observe that. I've been kind of pushing that for the last couple of years, and I appreciate all the work the staff has done and you guys have done, the mayor and city council on this to move it forward, and I appreciate it very much. The other thing, I noticed you guys have a retreat coming up, a working retreat, and I just might put a suggestion out there that on the agenda is possibly parking. One of the areas that's going to be highly impacted this coming year, I feel like, is the Tolavana area, where now the state's charging $10. So that'll probably impact the neighborhoods around there and probably negatively in their eyes. What I would like to suggest is a comprehensive review of what parking restrictions make sense in that area, and then carry that to the rest of the town. Because eventually, maybe in the next, 5 years, 10 years, who knows, we're going to have probably time restrictions or paid parking or something in the future. And before we can do that, I think we need to decide what makes sense for the rest of the town so that we can put those restrictions in place before we put some kind of restrictions in place for downtown or other popular areas. Maybe a task force would be appropriate. And if so, I'd love to help be a volunteer on the task force. Thank you again, and happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, Steve Wade. You said that, I looked right. Steve Wade, PO Box 105, Lincoln, Short.
Our Sergeant of Arms is doing a good job. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, Richard, that's hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Richard. Richard?
Richard's muted.
I can't unmute it.
Richard, you're muted.
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can. Go ahead.
Richard Bertolotti, P.O. Box 1382, Cannon Beach, Oregon, 97110. In response to Lisa Kerr's good of the order comments at the end of the December 9, 2025 City Council meeting, I take issue with her comments. She claims she did not verbally attack me after the September 2, 2025 City Council meeting. She must be living in an alternate reality. I was there and I know what and how it was. She said it. It was unprofessional, rude, and hostile. Regarding the November 13 public meeting law discussion with the city attorney, nothing was resolved. The facts presented by Councilmember Kerr concerning the tree and housing ordinances were not accurate. I have discussed the meeting law violation several times with the staff and director of the Northern Essex Commission, other city officials, and state lawmakers. They all agree the meetings were violations. But since the mandated 30-day period had expired, they could not be acted on by the Ethics Commission. Please read the Attorney General's Public Records and Meeting Law Manual. Quote, public bodies must deliberate and make decisions in the open. The public meeting policy statement says, quote, when applying law to particular circumstances, that policy ordinarily would require an interpretation of openness. I would hope the city follows Oregon public meeting laws and follows a policy of openness in the future. My question, are there any focus groups currently meeting in Cannon Beach advising the city council, planning commission, any other public body, or any commissioner? Thank you and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thanks. We'll go ahead and go on to our first action item, which is a request for policy directive requiring appointment of an acting city manager during extended absences. And our city attorney, Jody, will be presenting this.
Hi, folks. Jody Gallahan with Beery, Elsner and Hammond. This is an informal request to be followed by a resolution at a later date in writing for a formal adoption. But today I'm asking for just a directive from council in the event that the city manager is absent for more than 3 days, somebody to act on his behalf, sign checks, do all the things that are day to day that we rely on the city manager to do logistically. So the original request was for sort of a general discussion on if council wants to allow city manager to appoint that position, or if council would like to just, take care of this now and just say, in the event that city manager is absent for a period of 3 or more days, this specific position at the city will I guess hereby anointed his acting city manager. So something to that effect. I will fix that motion if council wishes to move forward.
I think so. Basically, is what she's saying is if the city manager isn't available is out for more than 3 days, that we appoint someone to act as city manager in his absence.
Yes.
Whether that is, vacation time or leave of absence or whatever it might be. And I think that, because there's check signing and things like that involved, I truly, think that we should move forward quickly and appoint the finance director to be the acting city manager, in the event that, something came up and the city manager was out.
Do you think there should be a time limit on that, or how long that person would act as city manager at what point?
Jody can probably answer that better.
Yes, so the motion would be caveated. And again, this is just a directive for today. I'll come back with a written resolution so that it can become a policy statement from council. But today's would be motion to direct the city finance manager, I think that's his title, to act on behalf of the city manager in the event that he's absent for more than 3 days, concluding upon the city manager's return to the city for work.
Should there be something in there that says, in the event the city manager is unable to return, that?
Or until otherwise directed by council?
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Okay, everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I was kind of curious, so between, I think it was before current city manager was hired, we had an interim, and now it's Chief Shemmerling, right?
Yes.
Is there a reason why police chief that time and the finance director?
I think at that time, Jason had been with the city longer than anybody, and he had served in that capacity a couple of times. We were actually without a city manager for, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just wasn't sure if there was a reason why the police chief as opposed to.
Yeah.
Finance, I mean.
I think it was.
Especially signing checks and all of the finance stuff, that makes much more sense for the finance director to be in that position, but.
And I think also, when we think about the two facilities that are gonna be separate,
Yeah.
that it makes sense to have if there is an interim director, that it'd be at the main city hall building. That across the highway.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have your direction, Jody?
Got it.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, then we're going to move to our discussion items, and the first is the financial report for the first quarter. And
Hi, good evening, Mayor Knopf, and members of the council. I am here to present the first quarter finance report. Overall, as you know, the first quarter of our year is July 1 to September 30th. It's also the busiest time in Cannon Beach. Generally, again, we're looking in relatively good shape overall. The one thing that we have noticed is that TRT essentially is flat in this first quarter. So hotels is up minimally, STRs is down, but overall it's mostly flat. That's probably the biggest change. Again, it's over budget, but it is under compared to where we have been in prior years. So those are big things. Prepared sales, prepared food tax is actually, it was up 3.9%, I believe. And overall, they're in fairly good shape. On page 4, this here is, we have a comparative. I think we added this a couple of quarters ago, where we compare the cash balances of the quarter end being 9/30/25 and then the year earlier, and what our cash position is. Generally, you'll notice the big difference in our cash position is really what is left in City Hall and Police Station construction account. That's probably the biggest. Page 5 is this is where we've summarized revenue, particularly in the general fund. And again, this here is where you can see the transient room taxes in the general fund to see the impact. So transit room taxes, which would be the actual hotel, is up 10,000 over the prior quarter or prior year quarter. And but short-term rentals is down 17,000. So really, it's pretty much a wash. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Would there be any way to identify, like what made the difference? Was it just less business with vacation rentals? Anybody have any?
Yeah, we haven't done any more analysis of the actual returns, so we haven't compared the income levels between, or the taxable income levels between year to year yet. So that is something that we probably will look at, particularly as we're going into the budget. Which we'll want to have a little better idea of what we're gonna put the budgeted number at. But other than that, we don't have really any information.
I'd just be curious, how often there's that, like a 3% difference between, the hotel rooms and short-term, the vacation rental. I don't know if that's an odd thing, a one-off thing, or.
I mean, we can definitely do a little more investigation, at least from the tax return side, to see if we can find something.
I don't know if Eric would agree with this or not, but I think we've seen less international travel, and I think we've seen some rate reductions.
Overall, lodging business is flat.
Yeah.
It's flat, if not declining, and we're all in the lodging industry looking at the county is issuing a 2% increase in lodging tax during January 1st. So with the anticipation that that's gonna further flatten or reduce overall lodging in Crawford County. So that's what we're looking at.
And do we have how much we're down, year to date? We've got how much we're down, by budget. But,
Yeah, so you would just look at the difference, for instance, we'll just do the general fund. Actually, I can probably do it here. Let's go to TRT on page 13. And if you see page 13, the difference is roughly $9,000 between first quarter 25 and 26, and that's all TRT. So essentially, that's flat. I mean, that's really just an accounting.
So those numbers on page 5, the first 2 columns are actual numbers.
Yeah, correct.
Or, well, you, but yeah.
They are, by the time I've added, because by the time we get the collections, it's about the time we put the report together, so then I just take the TRT and put it in, insert it now.
Yeah, the reason I was asking because, page 5, the 0.21% is of the budget. Not,
It is a budget number, yeah.
not, last year's actual.
Yeah, so last year's actual was 3.36 million, and this year's was 3.35 million. For that same quarter, so essentially, I mean, again, basically, that's an accounting. Like, start at $9,000. Okay, so then, actually, the other highlight here is page 7, and this is ending fund balances. This is another one that we have, that we added, and, we're tracking, basically over the last, 5 years where those ending fund balances are currently. And for the most part, ending fund balance is equates to roughly, cash basis. So how much cash do we have on hand in those funds? One thing as I was going through here, what I think I'm going to do, if you guys are agreeable, is that I would break the fund balances and total them by grouping. So for instance, the tourism and arts, tourism room tax, Hudson County, TRT. And I would show those individually, but then a total of what those TRT ending fund balances are. Because essentially you could use those for roughly the same thing. Same with utility funds, which is something that if you had to, you could have borrow from one utility fund for another utility fund, that kind of thing. So I think that would help give you some more information, but I just want that you guys were. Okay with
That's a
that.
great idea.
And that's topic and retreat, so we have that ready for Thursday.
And then, pages 8 through 12, again, I do the individual funds. The charts are an attempt to kind of give you a visual representation of where we were spending wise and income wise and kind of the beginning fund balances for each of them.
Can you remind me again, page 12, the administrative services fund, what
Yes.
that pays for, and then maybe why it's gone up by a 50% increase?
So the administrative services fund includes executive, finance, public works administration, and central services and IT.
Okay.
So then those are essentially an internal service fund. So all those costs are then pooled in there and then spread to all the funds to pay for them.
Okay.
So
And so then the increase from the 2021 to 24-25 of, was that like $50,000 or so? Was that an additional staff member?
there has been, we've had a part-time additional staff member. Another part is our insurance costs have increased fairly significantly, and that's paid for via this fund and then separated out to all the funds.
Okay.
Those would probably be,
The insurance is probably.
yeah, it's probably the two biggest ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, and then is that fund, equally split through all the quarters throughout the whole year, or is first quarter just like our TLC we receive, is first quarter like where most of the spending happens and then the rest of it?
Yes, because for instance, I do my entire insurance payment is all in July 1.
Okay.
So that's $300,000 right out of the chute. So things like that, a lot of times it'll also be like server purchases, et cetera. That happens up in the front. Then the rest of the time, it's some in materials and services, and then salaries.
Okay, so meaning that we're 36.54% of budget now is not a concern, or we're not.
Not-
We're not looking at 4.2 million or whatever.
No. We're not looking at that, just because again, we front load a lot of this initiatives, right? Then page 13 again is just the TRT that we discussed here a moment ago. Page 14, we break down the TAP awards and kind of the revenue schedule for the TAF fund. So we, again, don't issue all of the grants at the same time, we spread that out over the year. And then lastly is prepared food tax. So you see the prepared food tax is actually up 3.8% over the prior year. So TRT is flat, but we're up about 3.8% in the prepared food tax. And remember, prepared food tax pays for the debt for the city hall and police station, and also one half of it goes to the fire department. And then that is it, and I am available for questions.
When do we normally see, or have we already seen it, and I'm just for some reason forgetting, the audited, 24-25?
Typically, we'll see that in January, and I've actually asked for a draft, and the auditor's supposed to get a draft this week. So typically, the auditors come up and we present that in January, maybe at the beginning of February.
Okay, and I can remember the presentation for Q4 a couple of months ago. Did that include like a year end?
Yeah, so if you actually go on to but I didn't actually give a presentation on the Q4, but the Q4 finance report, exactly like this one, is on we put it up.
I saw it.
Yeah, but I did not give a formal presentation.
Okay, and you just saved that for the audit?
Typically, yeah, because I could present it to you roughly in October and then come to you again with the actual audited numbers, so. If there was an issue in the Q4 or we ended up horribly wrong from where we were in the budget, I would inform the council of that immediately.
Other questions? Okay,
All right, thank you very much.
okay, next on the agenda is a ordinance on, oh no, wait. Gotta make sure I'm not the right one. Am I right? No, minutes. Okay, next we have consideration of the minutes from the October 28th meeting and 3 meetings in November. Are there any revisions?
I move to approve the minutes from October 28, November 4, November 13, and November 25.
Any further discussion? Roll call please. Tessa?
Counselor President Kara?
Yes.
Counselor Ostrander?
Yes.
Counselor Hammond?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Knopf?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next, we're ready for the ordinance 2501. An ordinance amending Cannon Beach Municipal Code, Chapter 8.08, burning. And Jody, we're gonna do this? Present this?
Yes, so I apologize. So I'm not sure if you have a script for adoption of an ordinance or if you need me to sort of lead that direction, but this is essentially the burning code updates that were already discussed by council at prior information workshops. I don't remember the specific dates. This is the final draft of those legislative updates as per those conversations. So do you need me to summarize all the changes?
I have the script for when we're ready to consider it.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, that's,
Yeah, can you summarize any of the changes? Because I feel like there was a change that I brought up that wasn't included.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let me pull it up. So the changes were to updating the definition of open fire to be, this is probably the one that you're referencing. So the definition of open fire was changed to open burn and then given 3 specific examples, including burning in an open outdoor fire pit, burning in a burn barrel, and any other outdoor burning where combustion air is not effectively controlled or vented through a stack or chimney, excluding propane, natural gas, briquette barbecues that otherwise meet applicable federal, state, and local requirements. Is that sort of the one that you're worried about?
Yeah, that was the one I was, wondering about. So on C, one of the things I brought up was, other, outdoor kitchen implements, or I can't remember the position.
Okay,
That I used, things like Traegers and stuff like that that burn with pellets as opposed to briquettes.
oh,
They
okay,
include, so I did, but after seeing this, I drafted, something different to replace C with.
okay.
Using some from Walton Valley Fire and Rescue's like burn ban exemptions, things that are exempt during burn bans. So the language that they had on their website, excluding, the part that I pulled from that was, barbecue grills, smokers, or similar cooking appliances fueled with clean, dry firewood, briquettes, wood chips, pellets, propane, natural gas, or similar fuels that otherwise meet what the rest. So just putting that definition for the cooking appliances in place of what we have for cooking appliances, excluding propane, natural gas, and briquette barbecues. So instead of having just those three examples, having the fuel type examples that Walton Valley Fire and Rescue uses for their burn ban language. Yeah, so they have, what they say, is excluded from, burn bans is, barbecue grills, smokers, or similar cooking appliances fueled with clean, dry firewood, briquettes, wood chips, pellets, propane, natural gas, or similar fuels that otherwise meet applicable federal, state, and local requirements. So it's specifying that they are cooking appliances and that they're fueled with the different fuel types that typical cooking appliances are fueled with. So it still leaves the prohibition on something that's not used as a primarily as a cooking appliance.
So I am not an expert at outdoor barbecue, so I am perfectly fine with that language. But obviously, if council likes it, we can do one of two things. We can amend it into the record verbally, or probably easier and cleaners is I take it back and I fix that and I bring it back for consideration again. But that's up to council.
So first off, is everyone in agreement with the addition?
I think it's clear.
I agree.
Yeah, my only concern is that, is there gonna be arguments about, well, this isn't a recreational fire? But it clearly is, but I'm cooking marshmallows.
One thing that the one you read said, something about clean fire.
Yeah, they have that in the thing of the list of fuels that cooking appliances are permitted to be fueled with, and it's clean, dry firewood, briquettes, wood chips, pellets, propane, natural gas, or similar fuels.
So the clean dry firewood, that's where you could get an argument with if somebody
That's how
took
it's
barbecue apart, put it in your box, rocks and put wood in there, they could effectively build a campfire. And argue that, well, maybe just taking the dry fire. or
Now,
whatever.
I'm trying to think the only thing I can think of that would, a cooking appliance that I know that use like firewood outdoors would be a wood burning pizza oven. You know, something like that. But I just, I mean, I just don't want the code enforcer to have to sit around and argue with someone about whether or not this is a.
Whether it's a cooking appliance or not.
Whether it's a cooking appliance, not, so if we took out the firewood, I think that would solve that.
Well,
So we're not excluding, wood fired pizza ovens.
Those are part of the ban.
Yeah, it was a problem, yeah. I mean. I suppose someone could get a permit for it, and get a permit for.
I don't know how chances of somebody having a recreational pizza oven. Yeah, it's the only person.
Yeah,
Would be thrilled with the other people having that.
Yeah, and this is short-term rentals.
Well, you're saying cooking appliance fueled by
Mhm.
clean dry fire, so you already have the fact that it has to be a
That's
cooking,
barbecue, smoker, or similar cooking appliance.
right?
So how would you go about taking out the clean firewood portion?
That's fine, I mean.
Because that's a
it's gonna-
judgment call.
It's, yeah, it's gonna come to.
Yeah.
Whoever is following the complaint and looking in and seeing how it's gonna fuel.
Right.
I'm fine with
That's
that.
it. Yeah, I'm fine either way.
I just want it to be as clear as possible.
Clear and objective.
Very objective, very good.
So his language without the clean dry firewood, could you?
Yes, I can, if you could send me the language or just a link to it, and then I can finagle that into replacing our version of cooking appliance and then bring it back, if that's the preference, or else you can read it into the record. That's fine too.
Let's
Let's read it in.
read it.
It's short enough, okay,
Yeah.
so,
Read the whole thing.
so I'll read the entire definition for open burn, then.
Are you gonna make the motion and only read it once?
So
Is
that
how
would
it
be,
needs to-
yeah, my
No, I know.
recommendation is to move to amend. What subsection is this? It would be moved to amend section 8.08010. After I'm done here, just say so moved. Definition of open burn subsection C to go for it.
Or to read that one, it's a motion, or are we?
I think this is to amend it,
To
and
amend it.
then a motion, there would be a motion to approve the amended order.
Okay.
The subsection C would then read, any other outdoor burning where combustion air is not effectively controlled and combustion products are not effectively vented through a stack or chimney, excluding barbecue grills, smokers, or similar cooking appliances fueled with briquettes, wood chips, pellets, propane, natural gas, or similar fuels that otherwise meet applicable federal, state, and local requirements.
I
Okay, second.
Second amendment.
Okay, any further discussion? So first we're voting on the amendment where we go through the ordinance, okay? Roll call, please. That's the start of your.
I made a motion.
Eric,
And you seconded it?
Gary did.
Oh. Counselor Ostrander,
Yes.
Counselor Hammond,
Yes.
Counselor Hayes,
Yes.
Council President Kerr,
Yes.
Mayor Knopf.
Yes. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to consider the ordinance, and we do have a script for that.
I move to approve the first reading of ordinance number 25-01 as amended.
Second?
Okay, ordinance 2501, an ordinance amending Cannon Beach Municipal Code, chapter 8.08 burning, setting the effective date of May 1st, 2026. Is there any discussion? Okay, well, roll call please for the first reading.
Counselor Hammond,
Yes.
Counselor Hayes,
Yes.
Council President Kerr,
Yes.
Counselor Ostrander,
Yes.
Mayor Knopf.
Yes. Okay, so it was unanimous, so
I'll move to approve second reading and adopt ordinance number 2501.
Second.
okay, ordinance 2501, an ordinance amending Cannon Beach Municipal Code, chapter 8.08 burning, setting the effective date of May 1st, 2026. And roll call, please.
Counselor Hayes,
Yes.
Council President Kerr,
Yes.
Counselor Ostrander,
Yes.
Counselor Hammond, Mayor Knopf.
Yes. Okay, so ordinance number 2501 has been adopted and will become effective May 1st, 2026. Thank you, everyone. And that's how we do that. Okay, next we have a public hearing on resolution 2531, adopting findings to support an exemption from the formal procurement process. This is a public hearing for the purpose of considering findings to support the exemption from the formal procurement process. At this time, pursuant to ORS 2279B.050855, I will open the public hearing in order to give any interested party a chance to comment on the draft findings for an exemption from the competitive bidding requirement. Staff, please present your report. Good evening, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor, now, council members. Similar to the process that occurred in October, November, we have identified a contract that we would like to issue for tree cutting and pruning purposes on an on-call basis, similar to the other ones that have been completed prior to my time. So that's kind of the background there. The analysis and information, this follows the same contract terms. That's an initial 5-year direct award contract for the certain on-call needs. And then we can extend the next 5 to 10 years in specialized areas. And again, this is for the arborist and tree cutting. We posted this and noticed it and had not received any correspondence from any public members or anyone else interested in being a contracted party for this arborist and related tree services. So it's staff's recommendation to authorize us to enter into a contract without award for a not to exceed amount for the arborist and related tree cutting services.
Is there any interested party wishing to comment on the draft findings for an exemption from the competitive bidding requirements? No one in the audience? Is there anyone on Zoom?
No.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I will close the public hearing at this time and move to consideration.
So, like you mentioned, we approved, like 5 other contracts similar to this, or proposals similar to this 2 months ago. Was this, how did this one miss that cut, do you know? Or is this not the typical service that we've employed in the past?
I think we have, the previous director was working with legal counsel on ways that we could have contracts with these folks. I know Lynn Walkers has done work with the city in the past. As to the specifics as to why this one didn't follow that same procedure, I'm not exactly sure. But it was just one that I identified as we were working with Joe Birch with Lynn Walkers. I asked the question and found out that that scope, the arborist scope, was not included in that first round. So that's why we're doing it now.
Okay.
So is it possible that this was up for bid and that you just only had the one bid? Because that's what we're looking at exempting, right? But nobody else came to bid, which is.
To my knowledge, I don't know of any invitation to bid that was out there for these services. I think the city utilized the local contractor that we had at the time. And so now this is the formal process to clean that up and enter into a contract with Lynn Walkers.
Did they already go through, I know this is. Did they already go through a bid process to get the contract?
Did they get work they've already been doing?
Have they been doing work for us in the past?
My understanding is they have done work with us in the past, and I do not know if there was a contract on file with Lynn Walkers.
Well, I kind of feel like we need to know. If that was. Do we need more information?
Why? I mean, why now?
Well, I'm just asking, I'm just asking if you guys think we want a little more information.
Well, I think this is just, to me, it's just like the other ones we did. But because an arborist who works for the city can't cut trees. So when we have to have a tree cut, we have to have somebody on call to do that service for us. I think that's all this is trying to do is line those up so that they can function effectively.
And this was, published notice for this
There was, you look at that, yeah,
in December
of,
5th.
of this year. So there was a public.
The proposal to forego the, bidding process was posted December fifth. In the contractors. Daily Journal Comments. Correct.
It's just a question.
I think, and maybe Jody can weigh in here, but, that's not necessarily a competitive, process, and that's, the reason for this. What's that?
I was,
Yes,
Estimate something that
oh,
not-
true, okay.
a project.
Got it. Okay. Are you?
I'm clear.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure. Anything else?
Mine was just about the timing of it.
Okay. So anybody like to make a motion?
I'll move to adopt resolution 2531 for the purpose of adopting findings to support an exemption from the request for proposals process for a contract for arborist and related services, declaring such exemption and authorizing direct award of contract to Limb Walkers Tree Works LLC.
I second
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, Vanessa?
Counselor President Burke,
it, yes?
Counselor Ostrander,
Yes.
Counselor Hammond,
Yes.
Counselor Hayes,
Yes.
Mayor Knopf.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, next we have the infamous Tolan Hall lease.
I move to approve the lease of arts as it authorize the city manager to sign.
I'll second. Eric got that.
No one be done talking about this.
Is there any further discussion?
I don't think we have anything to talk about.
Okay, roll call please.
Counselor Ostrander,
Yes.
Counselor Hammond,
Yes.
Counselor Hayes,
Yes.
Counselor President Burke,
Yes.
Mayor Knopf.
Yes. Okay. Next we have good of the order. I would like to remind everyone that we have our council retreat this Thursday and Friday. Tuesday is from 11 to 5. And Friday is 11 to 1. I had some people ask if these are public meetings. Just want to remind you they are public meetings. And there's no decisions that are made during retreats. It's a time for us to set some goals and things that we want to achieve in 2026. And it will be here.
Yeah, the only thing I can have on that is under that one, that you had a topic called values. And then there was 3 headings underneath it. That wasn't at all what I meant by values. I mean, that was what I was talking about. So when we get to that discussion,
You'll clarify.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
well, other people might have other things.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have their own ideas, I think, of what values means, but it wasn't like process, but it was more like, what do we value as a community, and things should flow from that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else for?
oh, well, I was hoping that we could have, I don't know how we do this, and I know Janice here now, she'd be the one to set it up most likely. Is having some, way for us to meet the public works folks. I don't even know who half of them are.
Oh. From
The letter.
the letter
Yeah.
you sent. Well, I think the suggestion would be to, like you said, have a day meeting. Where they could all, when they're all on a shift. And maybe do it during public works week,
Which is.
which is, when.
I don't have a date, I think it's sometime in April, correct?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think that'd be.
It's the third full week of May.
You know,
The appropriate time.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think it would be really nice to have every public works staff member. And just to make sure that they know how much the city appreciates their long hours. As you're listening to the
It's gonna happen again.
You know, you're thinking, it's gonna be another long night, so, yeah, I would love to give them the that recognition.
Trevor did forward your email to the staff.
Okay.
That means to them, so
Okay,
they know now, but yeah, I think in springtime would be a great opportunity to have that happen. Correct.
good. Okay, anything else?
Happy with calendars?
Oh, geez, yeah, yeah, so I was hoping that we can have coffee with counselors on the second Wednesday. Rather than the first Wednesday in January, this next month. Is that okay with you, Gary? I checked with Jen, she said that it was available.
I think, I'm pretty sure that works for me. So we're talking about the 14th.
Yes,
That looks good, and I'd just like to underscore on that, for anybody listening, that we are no longer recording those meetings. And to me, it's like, so if you're interested in this, you have to be here or you have to be on Zoom live. So I would sure like to hear from people. It's really an opportunity for us to hear from people, for us to share our thoughts on things. And I'm hoping that's something that people in the community want. Otherwise, I think we need to take a look at that program and see if it's something that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well,
But then people got spoiled being able to
Watch it on
watch it
Zoom.
afterwards.
and I don't think it's a shame, we can't, that has to do with the public meeting stuff.
and we're hoping that changes.
It's not the
And-
city's decision
Right.
to do that. I just got a text from someone asking about that, so.
Yeah,
It's not that the city doesn't want to report it, it's just that we're not permitted to.
So maybe when we get clarified on public meeting laws and what's appropriate, we can bring that to the recorded version, but for
Yeah.
now, we're gonna be
Yeah.
cautious.
right.
Barb needs to hear the gossip.
So we're-
Well, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
yeah.
because, I believe it was Jody, it could have been Ashley that said that, it was Jody, that said that this, for the good of the order, is a good place to talk about what happened at Coffee with the Counselors. And give us an idea of what the people that were in attendance were questioning or, had questions about.
Oh, okay, well, one of the things that did come up was about how long it is taking the courts to make, our municipal court to make any decisions. That came up as a topic, for sure.
And the school.
And the school,
the
what was
Coos,
gonna happen with that?
is always a topic, but we ended early, so that's
Yeah,
why
it was
it's kind
very
of urging
small,
people.
very, yeah, it was a rainy day and, yeah, so.
It's the holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there wasn't a whole lot, it was just our regular folks. There was a desire expressed to be able to look inside the, old gym for someone who wasn't here 5 years ago when we had that tour of the old gym. But we were told that it wasn't safe enough to go in.
Bruce said that.
Yeah,
A few couple meetings ago that it's not.
So that's what we communicated. I mean, I think it'd be great to have heard several people ask. They'd like to see it, but if, I don't know what I was there 5 years ago, but that's nothing.
Is there quite stuff stored in the?
And we do have some stuff sorted there,
Yeah.
I saw, I must have been making a delivery for the country and saw books.
Well, when we're on the topic of the knickers, I was wondering the status of, preparing a request for a proposal for, park designer.
It's on our January meeting agenda
What is to,
for us to discuss how we're going to
oh,
do that.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought we had authorized staff to, prepare a request for a proposal.
That's what I thought we had,
What's that?
that's what I thought we had
And-
discussed.
And that's what I mean, is what they're gonna give us.
Oh, the proposal is,
Okay,
that's
that's,
been,
so
put up, and
we
we
will see that request for
We did.
proposal. and-
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
We're stalling, so we don't have to walk outside and too soon. Or this will blow over. Yeah, right.
Okay, nothing else? I'd like to thank our, Tessa and Trevor for helping us out and expediting the meeting.